Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of Happy ESL Learning and thank you for joining. Today we'll be talking about semi-modal verbs, the most common ones, uses and structure, and hopefully you will identify them in a better way after watching this video. Remember as well, if you would like to know about modal verbs, you can watch that video in this channel. Are you ready to start? Okay, for beginners, we need to discuss first what they are. Semi-modals are just like modal verbs. What's the difference? Well, they are a combination of auxiliary verbs and the preposition to. Do you recall that after modals like must, should, and may, and so on and so forth, you need a bare infinitive, meaning without to. However, with semi-modals, you do need that to complete the meaning. Probably you have heard about them before, but you didn't know they were called like this. And as you can see, we have be able to, the first one we are going to talk about. And allow me to remind you that be able to contains the verb be. That means that you are going to conjugate be in the three different forms: am, is, are in present, or was and were in past. We are going to use it in temporary or precise abilities, and the greatest thing about be able to is that it can be used to express can in future or past. For example, I will be able to pay for the apartment, or I was able to go to the cinema. In present will be she is not able to listen to that song. We have as well have to express general obligation or necessity. But when used in negative, have to expresses the absence of obligation. For example, you have to write her, or I don't have to answer back. Need to expresses necessity to, but the negative refers to unnecessary actions. For example, I need to tell her, or I don't need to do it. And lastly, we have ought to express an obligation or expectation. Just think about the use of should and instead use ought to. For example, you ought to do it carefully, or we ought to do the homework. Let's go deeper in the uses. And being honest with you, champs, creating positive, negative, and interrogative statements, it's pretty simple. For positive statements, in present, you only need the verb be conjugated. For example, I am able to do it, he is able to go with us. Negative statements add the word not. For example, I'm not able to do it, or they are not able to escalate the issue. For questions, we only need to swap the subject and the main verb. For instance, am I able to do it? Is he able to go with us? Now, to make things funnier, I will assign you a small homework. Can you transform the sentences you see to their future and past forms? Can you add a WH question? Write on the comments your answer and find me on Facebook as Coach Veronica, Happy ESL Learning, and book a lesson. Next one is have to. Super easy. Remember, this semi-modal is have to or has to. Have for personal pronouns I, we, you, and they, and has for he, she, and it, the third person. For example, I have to go, or she has to pay college. Try to make some extra sentences for practice. To create negative statements and questions, we need two extra auxiliaries. You already know, do and does. So, I don't have to tell you, and she doesn't have to talk to you. If you don't remember this topic, you can watch my video on present simple. Questions are simple. Do you have to go? I do, the answer. Or, does he have to pay for that? He does. Do you have questions? Well, you know where to find me. With need to, we have the same case as have to. We ought to pay attention to the third person when creating positive statements. Let me illustrate this with some examples. I need to sing, or she needs to go to college. For negative and interrogative statements, we also need do and does. For example, I don't need to ask you, or she doesn't need to cook. Questions would be, do you need to go, or does he need to watch that? Once more, I recommend you to create at least 5 sentences per chart so you can feel more confident. Don't forget as well that you can pause the video and analyze the examples. Ought to, as mentioned before, is used to express obligation or expectation, and is similar in use as should. For positive sentences, you can say, I ought to eat healthy, or he ought to bake the cake. Negative statements are, I ought not to read the book, or she ought not to do it. Questions are, ought I to make that? Ought she to sing with me? This semi-modal is less frequent, but it's good you know its use. Now champions, let's get better with some useful exercises. Pause the video and you only need to write down on your notebooks the semi-modal that best complete the meaning of the sentences. They are only 5. Come on, I know you can do it. And as we all know, completing exercises is super different from actually practicing with someone. So let's talk. Find someone to practice with and discuss the questions you see. They're only 4. Don't be shy, and recall you can find me on Facebook as Coach Veronica Happy ESL Learning. Okay champions, thank you for watching and I hope you've liked this lesson. And if you did, please give me a like, subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications of my upcoming videos. See you later, I hope you can get happy ESL learning.